Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WCBC. It's week number 2. We've got matchup number 3 on the way. Sway Frost versus Not Vanilla. I will be filling in again for Sleeky. I've got Nito with me. And Nito, I mean, we watched an incredible matchup in the last one. I have a feeling this one also going to be fantastic. And I'm just glad to be back in the booth with you. It's been a long time.
It has been, dude. Did they like you were just way better than all of us, so they were like, "You're making them look bad," and they made you host? Like, what up with
No.
that?
Oh no.
No,
But
dude, but it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited to see this matchup. I know a lot of people in this matchup, so it'll be so cool to be able to cast them.
well, again, Sway Frost coming in with the victory over the team that we just watched in the last series take the win in the Venus Vixens. So they're looking to continue their good start to the season. They are up against Not Vanilla, who another one of those teams, 0-1 to start. Not the performance I think they would have wanted in week 1, but again, this is the beauty of this league format. You've got time to turn it around, and they could start here in week 2.
I agree, and I think that the player matchups are really good. In this at least with these two teams, I feel like we could very well see Not Vanilla really show up this week.
Well, we're gonna have to find out. As again, it's a best of 5 series, and I personally, I don't. I'm gonna go on a tangent here, Nito, if you let me, just for a minute. I personally love, I personally love best of 5 series for league play formats like this because best of 3s seem a little too short. Like you don't feel great about the outcome because
I can agree.
you don't get. I don't think we get to see the team's full potential. Best of 7s can carry on a little bit too long, and it doesn't really feel like you need to
Right.
go on that long. But best of 5s is like the perfect mashup of like
That
we
sweet
get
spot.
to yeah, exactly. We get to see the peak of the teams, but also it's decisive, right? It's not like you need 7 games to figure it out.
Right. And I mean, I think that this game has shown that there are certain moments in between games that can really change the outcome of the whole series. Albeit somebody, a coach talking to them and finally something clicking in the gameplay, or a captain just finally being like, all right, I don't know what we're doing, but we got to pick it up. And eventually it ends up, working in their favor. And those 5 games gives you a lot of in between time to figure out that other team, what they're doing, without it burning you out. Like you said, with those best of 7s being so long sometimes, or feeling so long that you might overcompensate in the end games if it ends up being so close in the end. So yeah, it'll be exciting to watch.
I mean, not to mention you get the opportunity potentially to see a 5-game series get decided like the last one that we just watched in that one game. And anyway, tangent over, but still, we've got a best of 5 between these squads. Sway Frost looking to join Enormity Pink in the undefeated squad heading into week number 3. And they've got to take down a Not Vanilla team who, again, one of those teams that going to be kind of rotating their players as far as I'm aware. I don't know if that's changed from last
I
week.
was gonna ask, yeah. I thought so.
So
I remember that.
I believe last week, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe last week we saw Top Gun, Lore, and Perona make their debuts. Not really for Top Gun. Top Gun was a sub last season. I think we saw her a couple of times. But Lore and Perona certainly make their debuts last week. I know that it's a team, a newer team to the league, and they've got a lot to prove here. But will we see Maya today? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out when the teams get in. But I still feel like that Not Vanilla squad is one of those unknowns to me that I can't count them out against anyone until we watch them a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Lore, somebody who came out last week for the first time, was number 1 in saves, on top of everybody with 12 saves in their game. So, if they can really find their groove, and I think maybe there's some new team nerves coming in. Doo-doo-doo.
Oh wait,
Okay.
wait, hold on. Did we just get Did we just got changed up on, you know?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I just stopped in the middle of my sentence because I realized what I'm saying might not even
It
be
doesn't even matter
relevant
at
to
this point now.
what I'm what I'm gonna say.
Wow. Okay, so we got changed up on hard. So everything that we just said, if you're watching in Twitch chat, completely erase that from your memory because it
Oh
doesn't
boy.
matter now. We instead of
Okay.
Sway Frosted, not vanilla, Nino. We now have Queen Cobras and Count Nose Ladies, and I mean, still, I think a lot of what I said kind of applies, but the
Right.
Count
Put it
Nose
sticky. Put a
Ladies,
little tab on it.
yeah,
Remember that. We will be seeing them in the next matchup. But it looks like we've gotten a bit of a schedule switch here. Players asking to change last minute, which is, I guess, it's possible if we have the other players here ready to go.
I hope so, or we're just going to be sitting here podcasting for a little while until
All right,
they.
let's get going. So this next squad, Queen
Yes.
Cobras and Cow Nose Ladies. Queen Cobras with Ravina for sure, and was that Emil? I can't. The text is so small.
Yeah,
Emmy.
Emmy, and Fuchsia. I mean, one of the teams that you've got to give a lot of respect to. I mean, I think Fuchsia made an argument for herself being to be the entire MVP of the entire league last season. And Ravina, of course, one of the upper 90 players that took the entire season last season. So,
Mhm.
I mean, Queen Cobras, I think one of the scariest teams. Until we watch them lose, it's hard to bet against them.
Mhm.
But the Countess Ladies, veterans from season one, they snuck their way in here, but that doesn't mean that they're down and out. They've got a chance to take it to the Queen Cobras, who could potentially be underestimating them.
Yeah, and it's a challenge here for them because they're up against again one of the best teams in the league, and it's gonna be up to them to kind of figure out a play style that isn't going to leave them out in the dust. I think that they have the capability to show up in these matches as long as they play to what they know and not get too psyched out of the team that they're going up against.
And I love that point. I was literally just about to make that point because I've been around esports for a long time. I've played and casted at very high level esports for, my God, it's been over a decade at this point. And when you get into a game against a team or a player that you know is unreal, like like they're hyped up to be an incredible player, you have to approach it like you're almost playing ranked, or you're almost playing. You don't care; they're just another person in the server, right?
For
You have
sure.
to give yourself that kind of mentality that they're just another player, and I can beat them if I play well enough.
Absolutely. And at the same time, also just like leaving that respect there, knowing that they are that good player. And at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, knowing how good you are in a league and knowing how much I guess experience you have over another person. You can't underestimate your competition no matter what, because you never know. They could have been working on the ultimate strats to counter this team all week. So you just gotta have that respect on both sides.
And that is one thing that I think we see a lot of in the WCBC in general. I feel there are certainly teams that we highlight to be favorites and teams that we expect to be top four come playoff time, but it always does feel like there is a good amount of equality throughout the team. Sometimes we get mismatches, but for the most part, series are relatively close. And I think that this one could turn out to be something like that again. We're just going to have to find out. But interesting point. We don't have all of the Queen Cobras in here yet. However, I do see Linnea in for somebody. So we're at least probably going to have a different lineup from the Queen Cobras than we saw last week.
And that will be interesting to see, especially up against Cow Nose Ladies, and hopefully they aren't too thrown off with the roster change as well.
Well, it looks like for sure is not in. So it's going to be Linnea, Emmy, and Ravina. And unless they're waiting and they're just having their sub in the match for whatever reason, but I don't think so. I think this is their lineup. So no Fuchsia today here, Nito. And that could change things. That could be a big dynamic change in the match.
Absolutely. But I also know that Ravina has got a really good head on her shoulders when it comes to this game, and I'm sure that with the sub that they have some team chemistry that will be just as good as if we have for sure on the field too.
Well, I think the players are here. Let's go ahead and get them underway. I wasn't expecting to cast this one, but I'm just as excited for it, Nita.
Exactly. I mean, they're all good games here, so we will see what comes out of this lineup with Kauno's Ladies, Alpha, Zulu, Michaela, and Yokai as we know them, and Queen Cobras with their mixed-up roster.
Well, we're underway. Game number 1, and already the Queen Cobras going to fire and score. Linnea, first goal of her WCBC career, I believe, as she's on the board 15 seconds in.
Nice little arrow shot and placement by Linnea to find that goal. It is 4 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. We got a good kickoff for Orange team trying to gain the possession in Alpha. Following this up here, not quite getting the touch. Michaela, though, following up the challenge, and Emmy's going to come out underneath to try and set something up. Yokai looking for the opportunity to pass. Not quite finding it. And Michaela kind of getting caught up in that challenge. Ravina sending it center. No one's there to receive the pass.
And that's a good play across. And you can already see the Queen Cobras looking for those passing plays. A lot of team chemistry on their side for what it's worth. And, of course, the new player to the lineup in Linnea already with a goal on the board, playing quite well, though she's going to get bumped out of the way there. Could be dangerous if Alpha can fire, and she will. Just like that, the Kauno's Ladies going to tie things up.
Yeah, here we saw the Queen Cobras get kind of mixed up in the rotation back, and like I saw in the earlier games, when you see those open net opportunities, you got to be able to take them. You got to be able to make them. And I know it sounds silly, but open nets in this game are pretty hard mechanic. I know from experience.
Certainly with the high pressure situations as well that you find yourselves in competitive matchups like these, but able to make it work. And yeah, as you said, 1-1. I'm interested to see how the Kauno's Ladies approach this now with the game being tied.
Absolutely. I can see that they're kind of holding back here, trying to get the play to start moving. Alpha there for the pass, sends it up. Yokai's going to try and gain some momentum. But we got Emmy coming off the wall, Ravina getting the touch, and I can see that Kauno's Ladies are trying to turn up the pressure here. They have a good rotation going. Alpha's going to try and challenge that, but Emmy's there for the clear. Ravina off the wall. Linnea waiting for the pass. Can't quite get it on target. Emmy shoots it down. It's not going to get on target, though.
Close one, and the Queen Cobras, of course, dominating the pace of play. Now, though, that was dangerous out in front, but a good job from the Kauno's Ladies to turn away most of the shooting opportunities. Ravina just wide. Emmy wants to bounce it home. It'll be a pass, and the Queen Cobras finally break through the defense.
And there's a lot of action on the goal line, leaving Kauno's Ladies a little bit mixed up and not quite finding the person to defend the goal. It's 1-2. I think Kauno's Ladies has to find a little bit more patience in their plays, try and take control of the ball, and they can see themselves tied up again.
Certainly easier said than done against a team like the Queen Cobras, though, as possession and space, key resources in this game, and the Queen Cobras certainly know how to use that to their advantage. As there's a nice fake from Ravina, but she can't get by Michaela. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I think if they can start to tip the balance in their favor of ball possession, we can certainly see them equalize. They're certainly not out of this game.
Absolutely. Yokai not able to keep up with that pass. Alpha's going to try and control it in the corner. Yokai going up for the save, gets the touch, clears it. Got Michaela trying to bump Emmy out of the play, and Yokai, a 50 right on the goal line again, flips to save it on the goal line. Is going to follow this one up. A pinch sends it over. Ravina's going to take this one. Going to try and control it off the wall. Does she have flip reset? I'm not sure. She got a 50 there, and Emmy with the dunk.
And it was a good defensive stand for a while, but you could tell the panic starting to set in on the blue side. A good 50 there from Emmy, able to knock that one home. And I think we even saw a double, maybe even a triple commit from the Cow-Nose ladies on the defensive side. And I mean, totally understandable in those kind of pressure situations, but got to clean that up because you know the Queen Cobras are going to punish you every time.
Absolutely. It's the defensive rotation can sometimes be the toughest, but this one, Linnea with the placement, seeing that open spot in the goal and being able to just shift it over, and unfortunately the goalie couldn't get the touch.
That'll bring us to a 4-1 with just 70 seconds left. And I mean, if you're the Cow-Nose ladies, I think you got to use this time to discuss or at least reset yourselves a little bit heading into game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. A minute left to go. Definitely not impossible to score 3 goals, but they need to turn up the pressure now. They need to start mixing up their gameplay to catch these Cobras off guard. Yeah, send it over to orange side. Yokai trying to make the challenge. Michaela's there to receive the pass. Alpha not trying to be too far up, but she's able to try and make a play. Not quite going to get it, though.
Final 25. Queen Cobras certainly look like they will take the victory here in game 1, a 1-0 series lead once the final 15 seconds tick off the clock. And you know, again, I think it was a good showing for game 1 from the Cow-Nose ladies. Things got away from them a little bit towards the latter half of the game, but a good equalizer early, and they were able to keep the Queen Cobras out from those dangerous areas for quite a while. But eventually it was just the pressure from the orange side that were able to give them just that slight advantage needed to knock in a couple of those goals. So we'll see. How does the Cow-Nose ladies respond? How do they bring this one back? What do they need to do to get into game 2?
I think there needs to be a little bit more. I don't want to say communication. They have a solid rotation. I think that the pressure, I don't know, needs to be a little bit more clear. I think sometimes we see some people getting really good plays to advance the ball, but there's no option to pass, which is really important when you're dealing with 3. So hopefully, if they can get that sort of or those sort of moves in the game, they can see themselves scoring more.
Well, we'll have to find out, see what they do for game 2, but I certainly agree. I think the team plays can put the Queen Cobras on the back foot if you're able to make them work. But again, it's easy to say that as a commentator watching from, from the sky view. But when you go up against the Queen Cobras, who are so very fast to the ball and they love to put pressure and they love to just poke and prod on the defensive side to force you into bad spots, it can be difficult to make those team plays work because it always feels like there's someone in the passing lanes.
Yep, I agree. I mean, when you're up against a team that notoriously is on the highest level of this game, you have to keep that on the back of your mind and try and work around your strengths as a team. So hopefully the Cow-Nose ladies can see those strengths and they'll play to their advantages.
Well, let's jump into game 2 here, Nito. And this is a must-win, I think, here for the Cow-Nose ladies. You can't really afford to go down 2-0 against the Queen Cobras.
Absolutely. They're going to need to turn on the pressure. And hopefully they have shaken off all the nerves from game 1, because that's also That's also something that's really nice about series in general, just being able to shake off some nerves and get into the groove of a series and a match. Yokai's gonna see Alpha on the wall, but Ravina's gonna come through and take that possession. Still grabbing the boost from Alpha and leaving Alpha here, not able to do much. Michaela for the rescue gets the demo on Emmy, and Alpha's able to grab some boost for the play. Michaela sending this one up, seeing Ravina pass the ball, but not quite able to get the touch. Ravina challenging here, is gonna pop up. Emmy's gonna take the shot here, bounce it off against the wall, and Alpha with the save.
A good play defensively out in front, but we saw the giveaway, although Alpha nearly punishing the defense there of the Queen Cobras. Good save on the goal line there by Linnea, but I'd like to see, again, a bit more awareness when you've got the ball, able to maintain possession, really from either side, because we've seen a couple of giveaways that didn't necessarily need to happen, whether it's prioritizing boost or just trying to throw the ball into space. Sometimes it's better to just hang on and try to win 50-50s to give your team some time.
Yeah, you can tell these teams are really desperate to get the first goal on the board. And sometimes that can cloud your judgment when it comes to plays and wanting to slow it down and make a smarter play and sacrifice that for the goal. Because when it's 0-0, I can imagine you're just under a little bit more stress every second, thinking about who's going to score the first goal. And Ravina here, able to get the interception, is going to go up with the ball. Not quite able to get the read off the wall, though. Linnea's there to receive the challenge. She's got Emmy there for the response, but doesn't look like Ravina's going to get the shot there.
I'm surprised Linnea decided to turn back. She made a good initial pass up to Emmy, who able to get it back down into space. Looked like a little give and go play, but I guess Linnea just not confident with that shot. Turns away, and the opportunity to the wayside. So it stays 0-0 at halftime, but the shot totals heavily in favor of the Queen Cobras. But you've got to say that the Kaunos ladies doing a great job of holding on. They've got to make another save here, though, and they will. Good play from Michaela.
I was going to say they're doing a really great job keeping up their defense and keeping themselves spaced out really nicely. We got a double commit, though. Alpha going up there. Michaela, though, able to get the touch and wait for her teammates to recover. Emmy getting the touch and not quite getting the read off of the play. Emmy's going to move away from that. Linnea's trying to get the 50. No one's there for the pass, but Emmy with the shot on goal, almost saved by, I believe it was Alpha trying to come through.
And just a heads up play from Emmy too. Realizes that she's got some space off that challenge. Turns the car quickly around. And that will be 1-0 in favor of the Queen Cobras. And again, you hate to see the Kaunos ladies in this position. It's so hard to play from behind, especially against a squad like this. But they've got to find some offense here, and this is a good start if Alpha can get that close, but it's another good challenge, that time from Linnea.
Yeah, and we see some good pressure now from Yokai coming up, bringing it up the field, and Ravina's going to clear that into the corner. Alpha coming up, but we got Emmy and Ravina there for the clear. Michaela getting the boost and popping it up, unfortunately, at the Cobras. Michaela, though, a good challenge up on the wall. Alpha Zulu rushing back, trying to find the save. Yokai's got it, and Michaela's there for the pass. A good play, advancing. Yokai sends that into orange corner. Emmy's going to take this one off the wall, and Ravina not quite able to get the challenge.
Good challenge from Alpha, but now it puts Michaela in a tough spot. Off the back wall, she'll be able to make the play with 45 to go. Still need an equalizer here from the Kaunos. Ladies are doing a good job of trying to keep the ball in the orange half, but booming clear after booming clear coming out from the Queen Cobras, and they're fine playing that way. It wastes a ton of time, and it keeps things away from the dangerous areas in their own half.
For sure. No, we see Alpha trying to get it clear here. Still, though, it is on the blue side. They can't seem to get it out. Alpha now following The touch is going to go in front of orange net. Yokai reaching up for that one. Ravina's there for the clear. Michaela unable to recover. We got Alpha, though, on the ball. And that's going to be a game to the Cobras. The Cowhouse ladies did a really good job holding off the goals. But what they needed was to break down that Cobra defense. And they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, they again, I mean, it looked like they had offensive opportunities, but the problem was they just weren't getting sustained offense, unfortunately. And that can be one of the hardest things, is that you need to sustain your rotation in the offensive side if you want rebound opportunities, if you want follow-up chances, or even just solid passing plays. You've got to have people in the right spots at all times. And the Queen Cobras recognized that rotation, and they, especially when they were in the lead, were just not having it. They were playing the ball into tough areas for the Countess ladies to try to return, and at the same time giving themselves time and space to collect boost and avoid that boost starve that the Countess ladies were trying to press. And that's one of the dangers of a team that can play this fast. It can be so hard to slow them down, even when you're playing to your kind of potential.
I mean, it's true. It can be intimidating. I mean, and it also just like break down your mentality. But I think if you go into this league, again, with that respect and knowing who you're up against, you can still go out there, you can have fun, and you can surprise yourself because you aren't worried about the outcome. You're just worried about that moment of the gameplay. So I'm excited to see Cownos ladies and Queen Cobras come back for Game 3, and hopefully we can see I think we can see the Cownos ladies come through and break down the Cobra defense, and it's hard to maintain for 3 games in a row. So this is their chance.
Well, and again, the Cownos ladies looking for their first game win of the season still. Getting blanked by Enormity Pink last season. I'm sure last week. I'm sure they are going to want to have a little bit of a change for this one, but it's a tall order. I mean, the Queen Cobras have played. I wouldn't say that the Queen Cobras have played oppressively. It's not like it hasn't been close, but they've made the right decisions. They've made the challenges when it matters. And that can be one of the most difficult things to try to come back from.
No, absolutely. It's tough because you think, like you said, you have tried so many things within your limits of your gameplay. Sometimes you might lose hope when it comes down to it. But we are here for Game 3. I want to be surprised.
Me too. I would love to see this go to a 4th or 5th game. But that is a task that faces the Cownos ladies now, and I think this first goal is going to be all important. It's got to be blue, in my opinion, if we want to see a Game 4.
Absolutely. It'll definitely help them get back into the groove. We got a good flick to start things off from Ravina trying to respond as Emmy. But now we have Cownos ladies advancing with the possession. Ravina to take it away. Yokai is back, but Ravina's able to take control of that and bait Yokai in for the challenge.
And that is the danger of a player like Ravina. When it doesn't seem like it's too dangerous, she can make it dangerous, beating 2 defenders by herself. First goal on the board for the Queen Cobras. And that is not what you want to see if you're a fan of the Cownos ladies, though an equalizer might be upon us, but Yokai just a bit high. Can't get that one home.
So close. Almost Alpha with the challenge again. Ravina taking this one, and Emmy almost with a response in goal, and Alpha and Ravina tripping themselves up here for possession. Yokai's going to try and get the touch. Not the best bounce. Ravina's going to read it off of the ground here. Alpha with the save, though. Good defensive positioning there. The ball is high. And Yokai can't quite get the touch. Elena sends it wide. Emmy grabs possession. Ravina's there to send it it looks like right now they're just trying to keep it in their possession no matter what. Again, just like the last game, to keep that 1-point lead.
And we haven't really, I think Ravina has been rather quiet in this series up to this point. But after that first goal, she has been flying on the offensive side of the ball, making challenges, creating opportunities and a little bit of space for her team. And that is the player that, you've got to watch out for. She can do it all when she starts to feel it. And she's come alive here in game 3. It's going to be up to the Cow-Nose ladies to shut that down and try to find an equalizer now. They've got 3 minutes, 10 seconds left to do it. So still plenty of time, but they've got to get out of their own side.
Ooh, Michaela quickly bumping Ravina off of the goal line. Almost able to get the dunk in, but not quite. Michaela's going to challenge this one, trying to find someone down below. Alpha's rotating out. Yokai's going to come up for this. Off the backboard. And Alpha trying to set it up here, but Emmy again off the back wall here, trying to clear. Yokai not quite able to get the touch. Linnea's going to follow this one up. Michaela sending it down to orange side, and Ravina's there for the catch.
You've got to be careful, I think, again, if you're Cow-Nose ladies. You don't want to fall into this style of game, though. Yokai, what a pass. Michaela's going to not finish it off. Didn't get the power. Somehow Emmy gets back in time to make the save. And now the other way, Ravina can't get that on goal. I thought that was an equalizer for sure.
I thought so, too. That split-second realization that they were able to get the goal. And I think they just passed the ball up a little bit too far, and they couldn't get the power they wanted, and that was a savable shot. It's so close to going in, though. We have the pressure coming back to the blue side. Linnea with the challenge. Alpha's trying to throw it farther down, but it doesn't quite get there. Emmy. A scramble happening over on the blue corner, and Ravina's going to send it over the goal. Yokai trying to pinch it out, but not quite finding it. Linnea with the shot, Alpha with the save.
So much time wasted, too. Ravina just maintaining possession of the ball. Good pass there to Emmy as well. Looking for the pass out in front. All 3 players getting mixed up there, but Yokai just enough of a touch. Able to play it along. 70 seconds left, and this is where it gets scary for the Cow-Nose ladies. They're locked in, are the Queen Cobras, just trying to waste some time. Finally a clear, and maybe another chance for Michaela, but she doesn't get the power she needs, and it's a save for Ravina to keep it 1-0.
I feel like there's a lot of boost starving going on. I'm watching the Cow-Nose ladies struggle to get off of the ground. I think that this rotation that the Cobras have, keeping their possession within the blue half and just taking all of the boosts, is really working out for them. There are 30 seconds for the Cow-Nose ladies to respond.
As you said, only 30 seconds left, and they've got to get out of their own zone. That is easier said than done, as Emmy down to Ravina, looking for the challenge, and she finds it. The patient play, her second of the game, and that might just be the final nail, as the Queen Cobras a 2-0 lead, 20 seconds to go.
I hope Cow-Nose ladies worked on their kickoff plays, because they're going to need 2 of them in 20 seconds to see some progress in this match. However, like I said at the beginning, going up against 2 of the best teams in the league back to back, I think last season they had the same luck. They had the same sort of instance where they had to face these top tier teams right off of the bat. But again, I think that it is something that'll help them in the long run in the league to have this experience and play with these players once before, and that can figure out what they need to work on to meet their level.
Well, certainly the Cow-Nose ladies, unfortunately unable to find their first game win of this season. They'll drop 3-0 to the Queen Cobras. But that said, certainly not a showing that I think they should be disappointed about. It was a close series, all things considered. They were able to make some plays when they needed them, but again, it's just the power of the Queen Cobras able to overshadow the Countess ladies, unfortunately. And as you mentioned, they've now gotten the Queen Cobras and the Normandy Pink out of the way early on in the season. They've got an arguably easier schedule ahead of them, so we'll see how they fare. But that said, it still can't feel great to start your season 0-2.
I can't, but at the same time, it kind of provides you, like, I think it provides you with just like a look at the potential they could possibly meet if they put their minds to it. And they're in the league. They made the qualifiers for a reason. So all it takes is just the little bit of tweaking here and there, when they're not playing on stream, to meet those standards that they do have. They just have to have them all the time. That consistency is huge in this game. That's why we love to watch it.
Well, we are going to take a short break. Before we do so, would like to thank everybody coming out and watching today. And news on the prize pool for the end of the season. Before we started today, we were able to reach over $1,100 for this season's prize pool. If you want to donate to that, use the command !donate in chat. You'll be given a link where you can donate to increase that prize pool. All of your donation goes directly towards that. And make sure you keep it here. We've got one final matchup on the way for you. You won't want to miss it. So we'll be back in a second.